What's going on, guys? It's Ben here and welcome back to another video. Now today's video we're going to be doing sort of a transfer roundup sort of thing. So I've got the 9 players we've signed. I think I remember all 9 of them. And I'm going to be running you through my opinions on some of the transfers, addressing some of the things like potentially are we doing a Fulham last season and bringing in a lot of unproven players, and then potentially losing that depth in our squad and using the teamwork. But I'm going to be running you guys through exactly my opinions on it, and no bias here intended in any of this. But again, I feel like with the players we bought in, I think we are staying up this season. So we bought in 9 players. 3 of them are players returning from loan, which is fantastic. Dean willing to spend, I think, altogether about 30 million on players who played for us last season, which is great. Obviously, all of them at some point played in the playoff final. Tyrone Mings obviously was very solid at the back, and obviously got injured in the final. And Courtney Hawes was forced to come on. But even then, Courtney Hawes did a great job for Villa in that playoff final. And El Ghazi played outstandingly. Obviously scored the first goal, such an important goal for us going up. And obviously all of them played a massive part in our promotion. You know, Courtney Hawes playing at centre-back when we were struggling with our centre-backs and things like that. But 3 really great signings in that, and I'm really excited to see how they fare in the Premier League, because I think we all know that Tyrone Mings was potentially a Premier League level centre-back. He was, in my opinion, the best centre-back in the league last season. And to be fair, I'm quite baffled he didn't make the team of the season for the Championship. But again, he was only there for half the season, which is obviously partly the reason. But Tyrone Mings, obviously a fantastic player, and the fact that people are looking at the price tag that Bournemouth slapped on him, 26.5 million, which, to be fair, is a massive amount, an amount that maybe I thought was too big. But at the same time, it shows that the owners and Dean are very, very, if they want a player, they'll buy him. I do think we maybe could have left it for a few more days and might have been able to lower that price tag to about 20 million. But at the same time, I think we wanted him for the start of our pre-season campaign, obviously against Minnesota and then Shrewsbury on Sunday. I think it was a masterstroke, really, but at the same time, I do think Bournemouth have mugged us off a little bit with getting a little bit more money. But again, I'm very happy that the player that Tyrone Mings has been bought in, and that there were no complications with that one, because, if you looked on social media pages before Mings was announced, it was just announce Mings. I may have been part of that one or two times, but that's that. We all wanted Tyrone Mings in, realistically. And obviously the owners listened to our comments on social media, and obviously El Ghazi as well. Very glad to have got that one through very early in the transfer window. Anwar, great player. As we saw last season, I think he was too good for the Championship. If you watched Yannick Bolasie before January window, you could see that he could effortlessly take it round a player, and I feel like El Ghazi has got that as well. The ability to, drop a shoulder, take it round someone. A lot of fullbacks that we were coming up against in the league who weren't some of the very best fullbacks in the league, average ones at different clubs. They were struggling to keep up with Anwar. He's got good pace, good tricks, good skill, and his delivery and his shot are very, very good, and I'm very excited to see how he fares against a higher level of competition. And also, obviously, Courtney Hawes being brought in. Again, I think it's another good signing, and I think 3 million's a steal for him, to be fair. He's a fantastic player again. Last season, he was one of our most composed centre-backs. Him and Tyrone Mings had a great partnership at centre-back. They're both just so composed with the ball, and Courtney Hawes was not afraid to, venture forward. Obviously, he scored a goal against Nottingham Forest as well in the 3-1 victory. I'm not afraid to bomb forwards and try and get his head on things just like Tyrone Mings is. So I think they're, again, 3 fantastic signings. Up next as well. So then at the start of the transfer window, we bought in Jota from Birmingham, and I think this one, although it might not look, it might have been one of our biggest signings of the window as well, because no other manager that we've had would have the guts to look at Birmingham City for potential transfers. We knew that Birmingham City wanted Gardner, because obviously, he'd been on loan for them and we didn't want him back anymore because he played for the Blues. And I think that it's a masterstroke looking for a swap deal instead of just straight trying to take the money off them. If you looked at some of our previous managers, Steve Bruce, all that, they would not look at Birmingham City for potential transfer targets. But actually, Jota is from what we've seen in pre-season, a very, very good player. You know, he has the ability, again, to take it round a player. He's got a great eye for a pass as well. I've seen it a few times, especially against Shrewsbury. He was able to pick his spot around and, wrap a ball down the line for players. He's a wonderful player. And again, he's another one that, along with El Ghazi on wings, could cause fullbacks a problem in the league. And obviously, if we do bring in, obviously, as we brought in a striker in Wesley as well. Wesley, fantastic striker, and he's the next one we're going to talk about here. Now, I think this Wesley transfer makes or breaks our season, because if we've spent £22 million on a flop, then we might be in a little bit of trouble. But if Wesley lives up to, what people are saying about him in being a very, very good player, and certainly so far what I've seen from him, he looks a very teamless player. One of the things I noticed about Jonathan Codger as well is he's got a fantastic shot on Jonathan Codger, but he's a little bit greedy at times. But Wesley is the exact opposite. He looks like he's got a pretty good shot on him as well, although he hasn't had much chance to express that. But his eye for a pass as well. And I think Wesley would work perfectly with another striker or a centre-forward playing off his shoulder. People are saying that role could be filled by Neil Mopai. I don't see Neil Mopai as a great signing for us, because he is a championship player. Making that step up to the Premier League, I think he might be pushed around a little bit by some of the more experienced centre-backs of the Premier League. But at the same time, who knows, if that transfer does happen, we will get behind Neil Mopai. But I think that Wesley transfer makes or breaks our season. Because if he really is a great player, and obviously, paid a decent sum of money for him, 22 million's no small fee. I think he's could be pretty big. That transfer really could be. And if he does play well, fantastic, But I just think, I don't know. People are saying that we're spending too much money on unproven Premier League players who might not be able to step up to the play of the Premier League. And I think what the owners and Dean are doing they're looking for hungry players. If you look at the ages of some of the players we're bringing in, 21s, 22s, 23, 24 sort of age, we're looking at young, hungry players who want to prove themselves in such a big league as the Premier League. And obviously a lot of our team in general are unproven Premier League players. I mean, if you look at the majority of our team, Grealish has only had one good season in the Premier League. John McGinn never played in the Premier League. But yet we're not talking about them in a negative way. Like, if instead of signing John McGinn last season, if we were in the Premier League this season, we hadn't bought John McGinn, and we bought John McGinn in this season, people would be doubting John McGinn. But obviously, just because he's played well for us in the Championship, people aren't doubting him, which is the problem with people, because they're doubting some of our new players, like Wesley, like Jota, but they're not questioning some of the old players who haven't performed in the Premier League. And that's not me saying we should question John McGinn, because we all know John McGinn will play excellently in the Premier League. And I do believe that all of the signings we have will have a good performance in the Premier League. But up next, our next sort of signings are Ezri Konsa and Bjorn Engels. They're sort of going to fit into the same category. We need depth in our centre-backs, because in terms of defenders, we only had, before the transfer window, we had Chester, Tommy Elphick, who was released, and then Dominic Revan. And obviously, because we had Tuanzebe, Hawes, Tyrone Mings all on loan, and we needed to bring some of them in. And obviously, we lost Axel Tuanzebe to Manchester United, and then obviously Tommy Elphick was released. So I thought we needed to bring in another few defenders. And obviously, Ezri Konsa, I think, has got great potential. England under-21 player, of course. Played. I did watch the under-21s, the Euros or the World Cup, whichever it was. I did watch England's games during that, and to be fair, if I'd have known he was going to play for Villa, I'd have kept more of an eye on him. But what I saw of him, he's quite composed, quite calm, and obviously in the pre-season games as well. He looked a little bit shaky in the first one, but that might just be nerves of playing for your first club, and that might even been the climate in America. Obviously, a lot of players for us have never played in America, and obviously, but the Shrewsbury game, he looked a lot more relaxed. He looked a lot more composed. He looked a lot more, solid in general. He was winning things in the air, making tackles and driving us forward, which is exactly what we want from our centre-backs. And Bjorn Engels, I think, will fit into the same category. Again, I haven't seen too much of Engels, but he's another player that, obviously, the owners and Dean seem to be, so far, been a pattern in transfers. Players who look young, who look help Fulham. Bjorn Engels, I think he's 23, and he's another player that I think we could, I think he's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of year to grow, not even being 25, 26, where players would start to call them experienced. But I think that's another fantastic signing. And then most recently, Trezeguet or Mamadou Hassan, I don't know. His name's very weird to pronounce, but he's Egyptian. Got 46 caps, scored the winning goal in the African Cup of Nations against Zimbabwe. And again, I've seen some of him. Obviously, if any of you guys play FIFA, you'll know he had a 92 rated team of the season, which obviously we can't base too much over that because John McGinn's only 74 rated, which is an absolute scandal. But again, he looks promising. He's again, like Anwar El Ghazi is, he's a fast player who's very willing to take on a defender and put a cross into the box. And in the interviews, he was talking about how Ahmed El Mohammadi was partly the reason why he came to the club, calling him his brother and things like that, obviously being two Egyptians, El Mohammadi being the captain of the Egypt national team, and a player who, he's been average for Villa, but he's dug us out of a few tight holes. But again, I think now, really hope that Elmo can help Trezeguet settle in. Don't think he'll be ready for the Warsaw game tonight, but we might be able to see some of him against Charlton, which would be fantastic. Again, I just want to see him in a Villa shirt, see how he plays, see what his style is, because that's a lot of all these pre-season games are. And obviously, there are a few players as well who we brought in who haven't necessarily been talked about. Obviously, Frederick Gilbert. We signed him in January, yet he was on loan. I don't know actually. He was loaned back to them for the rest of the season. And now he's come to Villa. He's played both our pre-season games so far, and he is very, very quick. It's the first thing I've noticed. He's very, very quick. He's quick to support the winger. He's quick to make a pass. He's quick to come forwards and challenge. He made one mistake, I think, against Shrewsbury, and then made up for it by racing back and making a beautiful slide tackle. So again, another player that I'm very confident in, and I just realised I missed out Matt Target. So we're going to quickly brief on him. £17 million for Matt Target, I think, is way too much. And that's the one signing this season that I was questioning the owners and Dean on, because there are better left-backs who would have a similar to potentially even smaller price tag. And does Neil Taylor deserve his chance? I mean, I think so. He's from the fullback from the start of the season to the end of the season, he grew so much. And to be fair, yes, he might not have Premier League standard, but he's quick, he can make a tackle. And we need to, I think we make his attacking side better, and he's a very good fullback. But I don't know, I think that Target one is the one that I'm questioning a little bit. But at the same time, again, in Dean Smith we trust. And I might eat my words when he comes out as one of our best players next season. You never know. Everyone was doubting. Nobody was very excited about that John McGinn transfer. People weren't looking at him going, yes, I'd really like to see him in a Villa shirt. Yeah, he was our best player of the season last season. So, who knows? But anyway, I think that is going to wrap it up for this transfer video. Let me know if I missed anyone. I don't think I did. But if I did, so be it. If you've been watching our pre-season games, let me know what you think of our performances as well. Obviously, we've got Warsaw on tonight, the day of recording, which also should be the day of uploading. And I think we've got Charlton Saturday, and then RP Leipzig next week on Sunday. And then the week after that, it is Tottenham Hotspurs in the Premier League, which I should do a live stream of. If all goes well, I should stream. But I might have a few issues, and we might just have to skip that one. I'm not going to the game, unfortunately. But again, it takes away history, and obviously, I've never been to an away game at Villa, and it was taking 18 or more away games on your history, and it's nowhere near. But this season's about bringing up. We are going to get to one away game this season, definitely. But it's not going to be Tottenham. It's probably going to be after Christmas. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you like and whatever. I'm not very good at that sort of thing. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one, which, unless we make another big breaking news signing, don't think I'll make another transfer roundup. There might be a real life football video, depends on how I feel. It's very hot in England and I don't want to go outside and run around. So yeah, but anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I've said this outro like 3 times now, and I'm actually going to end it. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.